One of the most stressful moments after shoulder surgery isn't the pain. It's the question people keep asking themselves quietly. When is it safe to start lifting again? And the problem isn't that people are careless, it's that most guidance around this question is vague, inconsistent, or overly simplified. Some people are told to listen to your body, others are told that they're cleared without much explanation of what that actually means. That uncertainty creates anxiety, hesitation, and sometimes unnecessary setbacks. Hey, I'm Dr. Dan, orthopedic surgeon. I've helped thousands of people recover from shoulder surgery and shoulder pain and shoulder injury. I make these videos to give you clear, honest guidance when recovery feels confusing or stressful, especially when the rules feel unclear or keep changing. And before we go further, I want to say something important. A lot of the fear people feel after surgery comes from not having a clear mental map of recovery in the first place. If you're heading into surgery or you're early in recovery, I have a free pre-op shoulder surgery checklist that walks you through what to expect, what questions to ask, and how to avoid some of the most common mental traps. Let me tell you a story. This question usually comes up between follow-up visits. Someone will say, I feel pretty good, and then lower their voice slightly. So can I start lifting again? What they're really asking is whether feeling better means feeling ready or being ready. And most of the time, they've already tested it out a little bit. A grocery bag, a light dumbbell, reaching overhead without thinking. When nothing bad happens right away, confidence begins to jump. Then pain shows up later, that day or the next morning, and that's when panic follows. They wonder if they've damaged something. They replay the moment over and over. They start pulling back completely or pushing harder out of frustration. That swing between confidence and fear is one of the most common ways people get off track after surgery. If you felt unsure whether you're being too cautious or too pushy or too fast, that uncertainty is normal. The challenge is that comfort and readiness are not necessarily the same thing. And understanding the difference between those two ideas can save you a lot of stress during recovery. Here's what most people aren't told clearly enough. Healing and strength do not progress at the same rate. Pain often improves long before tissues are ready to tolerate load. Range of motion can look good before a repair is prepared for resistance. This is especially true in shoulder surgery because the joint relies on tendons and muscles that heal slowly and adapt gradually. So when people use I feel okay as a green light, they unknowingly move ahead of biology. That doesn't always cause immediate damage, but it often leads to inflammation, setbacks, or loss of confidence that didn't need to happen. The shoulder does not respond well to sudden jumps in demand. It prefers gradual, predictable increases that allow tissue to adapt without being overwhelmed. This is where a lot of confusion comes from. People are often given timelines, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months. Those timelines are useful, but they're incomplete. They describe minimal healing windows, not readiness for load. Two people can be at the same point after surgery and tolerate very different loads. That difference depends on the surgery, the quality of the tissue, prior conditioning, movement patterns, and how consistently recovery has been paced. So using time alone as permission can be misleading. Think about what's been guiding your decisions so far. Have you been relying mostly on pain levels or confidence or time since surgery? Leave me a comment below and tell me which one of these have you been using. A safer way to think about lifting is tolerance, not permission. Instead of asking, am I allowed to lift? A better question is, what level of load has my shoulder shown it can tolerate consistently? That includes how it feels during activities, later that day, and especially the next morning. One good repetition doesn't mean readiness. Consistency without flare-ups is a real signal. Progress that holds is more meaningful than progress that spikes. Slow increases that feel almost boring are often the most productive. This is where people get frustrated. They want reassurance that they're not being held back unnecessarily, but pushing faster than the shoulder can adapt rarely saves time in the long run. It usually creates interruptions that make recovery feel longer, not shorter. When lifting is reintroduced too aggressively, the signs are often subtle. Not sharp pain, not sudden failure. More often, it's a lingering soreness, a loss of confidence, stiffness that wasn't there before. People interpret that as damage, even when it's simply overload. This misinterpretation is what creates fear-based decisions. By the way, some people find it easier to navigate this phase with clear structure that explains how healing and load typically progress together. That kind of framework can reduce second guessing and prevent the stop and start cycle that makes recovery feel unstable. We have a solution. We'll let you know in a little bit. Here's the key takeaway. Feeling better does not automatically mean you're ready for more, and being cautious does not mean you're falling behind. When lifting returns gradually and intentionally, confidence grows without panic. Recovery becomes steadier instead of reactive. The goal isn't to test your shoulder, it's to build trust in it over time. So if this helped clarify a confusing part of recovery, make sure you're subscribed for future guidance like this. If you're also wondering how these same principles apply to everyday activities, the next video you should watch is When Can I Drive After My Shoulder Surgery? That discussion fits in directly with what we covered today. Thanks, family. We'll see you next time.